I do want to get to this Anderson Cooper, Melania Trump interview. This interview was embarrassing, not for Anderson Cooper, and not even that much for Melania Trump. I think that this interview was actually embarrassing for Donald Trump, and I'll explain why in a second. Melania Trump agreed to be interviewed by CNN's Anderson Cooper, and this was the first interview since the first sexual assault allegations came out. So we had this statement from Melania Trump after the Billy Bush recording, and she said something about, you know, it's inappropriate, but I've accepted Donald's apology, and so should everybody else, basically. And of course, that's ridiculous because nobody is accepting the fact that Hillary Clinton has agreed to be with Bill Clinton after all of his alleged improprieties. People saying, actually, we should still attack Hillary Clinton for that. But Melania Trump says, hey, I forgave him for this, and everybody's supposed to just fall in line. Okay, that hypocrisy aside. So Melania Trump does this interview with Anderson Cooper. And her explanation for what happened, right? Remember the scenario. Billy Bush and Donald Trump are riding around in this tour bus, or it may have been parked, okay? I don't want to misspeak. And Donald Trump just starts talking very offhandedly about he does what he wants to women. Sometimes you just got to grab women by the genitals, and when you're famous, they let you do it, and it's just all fantastic, and he loved it all. And Melania Trump's argument is, Billy Bush is really the one who is to blame there. It's not Trump. Trump was tricked by Billy Bush and encouraged by Billy Bush to say all those things. If it weren't for Billy Bush being there, this interview would lead you to believe, when asked to comment about women's attractiveness, Trump would have said, you know, I really like to focus on what's not at the skin level, but below. I focus on what's inside women. That's it. I forget about all that ranking women from 1 to 10. Anyway, that is obviously not the truth. Let's play the clip of Melania Trump explaining what happened on that tour bus with Billy Bush.
It was 10 days ago that Access Hollywood released that tape. I'm wondering, when you first saw it, when you first heard it, what did you think?
I said to my husband that, you know, the language is inappropriate. It's not acceptable. And I was surprised, because that is not the man that I know. And as you can see from the tape, the cameras were not on. It was only a mic. And I wonder if they even knew that the mic was on, because they were kind of a boy talk, and he was lead on, like egg on, from the host to say dirty and bad stuff.
You feel the host, Billy Bush, was sort of egging him on?
Yes, yes.
Is that language you had heard him use before?
No, that's why I was surprised, because I said, like, I don't know that person.
Yeah. What's less believable here? That Melania never heard Trump talk in this way before, or that she actually believes that Trump was egged on into saying this stuff? Let's break it down piece by piece. Number one, it's either a comically absurd lie that Melania Trump never heard Trump speak in this way before, or it's true because Trump reserved talk like that for like the other 10 or 15 women that have come forward, and somehow Melania Trump was exempt from hearing that type of nonsense. I don't know. And then she says this was boy talk. Again, everybody says Trump was a different person when this happened, acting like it's a 15-year-old kid with some kind of juvenile indiscretion. Trump was a 59-year-old man at this time, right? I mean, boy talk, because this was a long time ago, where there are many grandparents who are 59 years old, and we're saying, well, listen, I mean, this was a different Donald Trump here, and it was a long time ago, everything was different. But there is something here, and this is really why I find this I don't know if Melania Trump came up with these lines on her own, or if maybe they were worked on together with a team of people. I'd love to be a fly on the room during that discussion if this is what came out of it, but that's a different story. If it's true that Donald Trump was egged on by Billy Bush into saying things that are, according to Melania, remember, things he's never said before and doesn't use this type of vocabulary and language, if that's true, how can this guy handle being president, right? I mean, if some random TV host gets you to say things that you have never said before in your life, if we're to believe Melania, you get pushed around. You're a pushover. And how on earth is Trump going to be able to withstand conversations with Vladimir Putin? How is he going to be able to deal with the UN? How is Trump going to be able to go in and be in those situations that we know President Obama has been in many, many times, if like a 14-year-old boy, he's just, oh, you know, this is the opposite of how I talk, but Billy Bush clearly wants me to say something about women, so what the hell, I'll talk about sometimes you've got to grab them by the genitals. This is really embarrassing for Trump if it's true. And last thought on this. Billy Bush got fired, right? The guy who said the really offensive stuff is Trump, and he's running for president, and Billy Bush no longer has a job because he was involved in this relatively casual conversation with Donald Trump. That's really the insanity. It only makes sense in a world where you believe Melania's story, which is, hey, it was all Billy Bush's fault. Without knowing it, Melania Trump has exposed Trump as being totally spineless and susceptible to peer pressure. If her claims are even true, and obviously we both know that we're never going to find out. Send me your thoughts on this. I'm on Twitter at @Pakman. We'll take a break and be back after this.
Gamefly is sort of like Netflix for video games. They have over 8,000 new and classic games for Xbox One, Xbox 360, PS4, PS3, Wii, and a bunch of other platforms. And you can play as many games as you want for one monthly fee. And if you find some games you want to keep, you can buy them for a low used price. There's never any due dates or late fees, and our audience can get a free 30-day trial at gameflyoffer.com/TDPS. The games are shipped directly to you with return envelopes included. There's no contracts, and you can rent games through the mobile app. Get the free 30-day trial for the David Pakman Show audience and support our show by going to gameflyoffer.com/TDPS.